friends, today we will learn the basic properties of Bezier tool, dual Bezier, and dual side with sateen fill. So inside that we have topic stitch spacing, auto split checkbox, length, auto jump parameter, center single tracking, tracking length, pull compensation, short stitch, smart corner, fill direction, and last is multiple directions. The first is stitch spacing. So for that we will draw an object of sateen fill from the dual side here. Here the gap between two stitches is called stitch spacing. The basic property of sateen fill is given here. In the basic properties of sateen fill, there's stitch value. Inside it, the first stitch spacing allows us to adjust the spacing, making it lesser or greater as needed. After that comes the auto split checkbox. Here we make the object 13 mm in size. Here auto split is given in the property, if there is an object in the sateen fill. Then such a jump is coming due to auto jump, then auto split is used to insert stitches there. So by selecting the object, starting the auto split from here, the jumps that were visible in the middle. Remove the jumps that were visible in the middle and get the stitches there. It works to remove the jumps inside the sateen fill. After that the length comes, so the length works here when we give auto split. Then according to the length here, it puts stitches, if we have to reduce that stitch or if we have to do more. Here we can reduce it by using the value. Currently here the object of 119 stitch with auto split. If we give the length of 9 here, then the length of the object will increase. And the object which was of 119 stitch became 86 stitch. After that comes the auto jump parameter, whose button is in the general parameters here. And its shortcut is P. Selecting the object and right-clicking on this button will open the property of auto jump parameter. There are many options here: general, stitch shortening, jagged edge, auto jump parameter, accordion parameter, smart corner. We will click on auto jump parameter. Here are two properties given: auto jump and auto split, as we used to use in sateen fills property. The same property is also in the parameters here. So we check it off. Right now there will be two options in auto jump: maximum stitch length and jump length. Basically when auto jump is turned on here, we have given 5 mm in jump length if there is any stitch bigger than that. Then it creates a jump and moves the machine forward. If we have to increase the length of the jump that is visible here, so we can increase from here. Here if we make a length of 7 mm or 8 mm, then there will be only one line of jump in the middle. The length of the jump has increased. Now the maximum stitch length is written under it. It is written here 12.1 mm, which is an embroidery machine, has the maximum capacity to create stitch. The machine can drop a 12.1 mm stitch. If we do not want to jump in this object, and we do not want to use auto split, then we will also check off the auto jump. Then press OK, then the jump will be removed from here. If we have to remove the stitches that are coming in the middle, even in auto jump, we will make 12.1 millimeters. Even after that the stitches have not been removed, then we will check the size of the object. We round the size of the object to 12 millimeters since it's 12.90 millimeters. So we reduce the size of the object here to 12 millimeters. Then all the stitches will be removed from the middle here. Now after this comes the center single tracking. So here the start and end point of the object is not combined. The object will start from the bottom and end at the top. When we combine the start and end point of an object, so the tracking goes from the middle to the top. Then the object comes down to the bottom. To set the tracking property, have to go to General Parameter. Here is the option Center Single Tracking. Its work is that the tracking is coming in the side, if we want to run the tracking in the center. The option has to be turned on, it comes to the tracking center. After that the tracking length comes in its option in General Parameters. There is an option inside the tracking length. Its work is that what is the length of the stitch drop under tracking. Here it is showing 4 millimeters because we have set 4 millimeters. From here we can reduce or increase it. Now we do 6 millimeters here. Then press OK. Then our tracking here has become 6 millimeters. After that we will learn pull compensation. Whenever we draw an object of sateen fill, the stitches always come up to the boundary of the drawing. If we have to overlap the stitches a little, for that we use pull compensation. The pull compensation option comes in the general parameter. By selecting the object and checking the pull compensation box, the stitches that were on the boundary will be extended and a little external will come. If we want to set how much stitches have to overlap, a box is provided in front of the pull compensation, where we can set all the stitches we want to overlap. Now here we have set 0.50 millimeters, so the stitches will be 0.50 millimeters overlap. We can measure distance from here. Inside it, there is another option called side. It will mean that if we have drawing the object from the dual side or dual bezier, then which one have we made on the first side? In this object, we have combined the start and end points. So where the start and end point is, it will be our first side and the second side with its opposite. So we have to decide which side we want pull compensation, so we can do that from here. Whatever object we have created, if you want to overlapping on the first side, then click on side 1. And if you want overlapping on the second side, then click on side 2. If we want to overlap both sides, then we have to click on both sides. Now the next option is start offset and end offset. Its work is that whatever value we have given, it does not work in the entire object. If the pull compensation in the object has to be used somewhere more or less, Then the use will be start offset and end offset. Now here we have given pull compensation 1 mm. So it has overlapped in the whole object by 1 mm. Right now we should like this here. The pull compensation below is only 1 mm. And as soon as it goes to up, it becomes less and becomes 0. Then for that we have to go to start offset and write 1. To use start offset, there is overlap only in the start side. The end side has overlapping. If we want overlapping from the end side and the overlapping in the start side becomes 0, then the start offset has to be reduced to 0. We want to do 1 mm in the end offset. Then here the overlapping will start from the end side and become 0 in the start side. Then comes the smart corner. We draw a V-shaped object here. Then convert it to a central fill. And give a column width of 3 mm, then apply sateen fill. We don't want the stitching effect that came here. So we draw an object here. The stitching effect that has come here from the dual side is the same. If we want the same effect in the object with a central fill, then we have the option to select the object of the smart corner and turn off the smart corner. Then the stitching effect will change here. Then comes the short stitch. When we draw an object from the dual side or dual bezier, one side is very small and the other side is bigger. Then it is used for it. For example, we draw drawing from this type here. The first side is small and the second side is big. Spacing is showing a little more here and very less here. If such an embroidery is made on the fabric, then the possibility of falling down here increases a bit. Then it is used for short stitch. Here the short stitch button is now we select the object and turn on the short stitch button. The stitches that were falling here were altered with the help of short stitches. A little bit of the internal side will run by using it. The object remains the same as before. There is no difference in it. Then comes fill direction. The object of sateen fill or tatami fill has been created from the Bezier tool, in which the fill direction is used. Now here we create an object with Bezier and sateen fill. The object we have created is 0-degree angle. So if we want to change the angle of this object, then we will use fill direction here. Its button is here. Its shortcut is Alt+R. After selecting the object, clicking on the fill direction button here turns on the direction mode. After that we can select this line and set the angle wherever we want with the left click. What is the degree of the angle we are setting here? It also tells, so we can change it like this. After that we have to press enter. After that press escape. If we want to set degree-wise angle, then there is a shortcut for that, Shift+R. There is no button. By pressing Shift+R, the property of rotation angle will be opened here. Whatever degree we want here, we can write, then here it is 45 degrees. By pressing Shift plus R, if we set 90 degrees here, then the stitches will be completely straight. If we set 0 degrees here by pressing Shift plus R, then the angle will be set to 0 degrees. Then comes multiple direction. Multiple direction is basically used within all three tools, Bezier tool, dual Bezier, dual side. So first of all we use inside the Bezier tool, there is a button of multiple directions here. And its shortcut is Alt plus Shift plus R. Right now, clicking on the multiple direction button from here will turn on the direction mode. We have to create an angle like this. You have to click the first and then go to the second side and click the second one. Use the left click to give the angle. After that we will use multiple directions in the object of dual sides here. There is also the same method for that. By using it we can change the angle of the stitch. We can also use smart corners in dual side objects. If we want to perfect the stitches that are coming here, then we can use smart corners. So stitches will be perfect.